Planning and Zoning Commission is an independent advisory body of the City of Ames City Council. The Planning and Zoning Commission members are volunteers of the community and not part of the city administration. The Planning and Zoning Commission is supported by staff from the city's planning division. The commission is responsible for recommendations on matters involving subdivisions, annexation, master plans, and major site development plans, amendments to the zoning ordinance, and comprehensive plan amendments. We make our recommendations based on city codes, the facts presented, and input from the public. As an advisory commission, we welcome all comments regarding the proposed item. Please direct your input to the commission. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that the comments be focused on new information not previously presented. You may speak only once on an agenda item. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker information card and present it to the recording secretary. We ask that you come to the microphone to speak so that all comments may be recorded. The order of the proceeding for each item on the agenda will be as follows. City staff will present the staff report regarding the agenda item. Commission members will have an opportunity to ask questions of city staff. The applicant will be invited to make a statement regarding the request. Commission members will have an opportunity to ask questions of the applicant. Members of the audience will be invited to come forward to offer comments and questions. Once public comment is closed, the city staff and the applicant will have an opportunity for concluding remarks. The commission will discuss the application based on all presentations and any comments given and come to a recommendation for city council. The discussion may include further questions of city staff and the applicant for clarification. And with that, we will move into the first item on the agenda, which is introduction of commission members.
Julie Winter.
Mike Clayton.
Mike Sullivan.
John Emery.
Mike LaPetra.
Matthew Voss.
All right, thank you. And then we will move to approval of the agenda. Do I have an emotion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move to approval of the minutes of June 21st, 2023. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Now we move to the public forum. Is there anyone from the public that would like to come up and speak on an agenda item not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll close the public forum and we'll move to item 6 on the agenda, zoning text amendment to allow for sports practice facilities within general industrial zoning districts.
All right, good evening. So this was a applicant-driven request. The applicant can't be present tonight, so I'll explain as the staff report, but there isn't an applicant here tonight to explain it. So Savage Gymnastics had been operating a facility in the community, and they had to be relocated this spring and tried to find a site in the city, and we're not able to find a commercial site, which is where we would direct recreational or gym or fitness type of facilities to go to. So in their endeavor to identify a site, they had started to look at industrial areas. We don't allow for entertainment and recreation trade uses, or in this case, what we're going to talk about is a sports practice facility within industrial zones. So the gymnastics use, by the nature of how it's set up, it's essentially just for the gymnastics apparatus for the members that are coming to be trained. It doesn't have that assembly aspect like a fitness club, something like a gym, something of that nature. So as we worked through their options to site that facility across the city, we decided that the gymnastics training facility could be under this sports practice facility. So as we worked through that, they ended up approaching City Council to look at considering changing industrial zoning, general industrial specifically, to allow for a sports practice facility type of use to be permitted in our industrial zones. City Council elected out of the options that we presented to allow them to apply for this text amendment to allow for it only upon approval of a special use permit. Now, the special use permit is an individual case-by-case review of any particular application that comes through by the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Now, the special use permit, the benefit in this case is that this use is not a traditional industrial use. We don't know what location in a large area of industrial zone land that we have in the city where someone might try to site one of these. So we thought it was appropriate that there's an opportunity for notice and a hearing. That way, if a neighbor has issues with it, could affect how they operate their industrial business, could change insurance requirements, it could change safety planning if they were next to some kind of hazardous use. It also lets you kind of just understand what that use is, how its hours work, what different traffic or compatibility issues might be there. So the special use permit option is the best one that's available to consider how would a sports practice facility, not just this one gymnastics facility, but this one plus any other facility in the future, how it could be integrated into an industrial area. It would allow that Board of Adjustment to consider those aspects and then really make a decision, is this really a good location within an industrial area? Conceptually, it could be fine. For example, the site that the Savage Gymnastics is trying to lease is right on the edge of a commercial area. And we talked about in the staff report that it's actually designated in the comp plan as general commercial. And we desire to explore altering that zoning in that area to be a hybrid of commercial and industrial. So in all likelihood, if this text amendment is approved and they pursue that special use permit, it's very likely it fits well in that area. Now there's other parts of the industrial zones I probably don't know that it would fit well. So the special use permits is a good mechanism to do that on a case-by-case review and have some involvement of neighbors and others to make sure that it's an appropriate use in an appropriate location. So at this time, staff is recommending approval of moving ahead with the text amendment to allow for the sports practice facility use to be added to the GI zoning district.
By right or by?
By special use permit.
Okay.
So another option would be by right. In that case, that user would just be able to go in, meet whatever parking design requirements we have, whatever building code requirements, and they'd just be able to move into that space with no discretionary review. The ZBA exercises discretion during that special use permit process.
Would Savage be able to expand beyond just having gymnastics? A lot of,
So the special use permit would have to define the activities that will happen, and that would be up to the zoning board of adjustment on how they approve the operation of that facility.
a lot of gymnastics will tie in with a martial arts business too.
Yeah, so that's a special use permit level question. It'd be individual to the business, what they propose as those activities. So in theory, a martial arts class could also fit within that allowance of use. It might actually be classified as something else and not a sports practice facility. Sports practice facilities are typically the larger field-oriented sports, maybe a soccer, basketball, indoor football, tennis. Those are the types of things that definition were written for. Martial arts is much smaller in scope, and it's usually classified as a different use. So it might fit in naturally with being a secondary aspect of a sports practice facility, but you would not need to be a sports practice facility to be martial arts. So they're in two different categories.
Didn't have time to look this up, but do we know in this particular instance what's on the adjacent parcels, what uses?
I do, but I didn't bring that with me tonight. Again, so it applies across the city. So it's really about one tenant, and we're very careful that where they're looking to go, it seems like it's workable. No one wanted to go down this path if they didn't have a choice that appears could work. It's a mix of, it's just off of the frontage road on East Lincoln Way. So there's a tire shop, there's some other industrial use in the back. There's an old cabinet or furniture shop to the side there. It's just a kind of a couple of uses off of that frontage road
Okay.
on the south side.
Backside's a concrete business.
There's some open
And then
area behind it. Yeah.
How far
some kind of
past
pickers.
Duff is it?
Excuse me?
How far past Duff is it?
What are we?
Ooh, probably like a mile, just past Skunk River,
Oh, okay. I got
further
you.
east.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have commercial zoning in place to the west of Skunk River. It transitions to industrial and commercial just before,
Okay.
like where the motorcycle dealership is. That's technically industrial,
Okay.
and then further to the east is all industrial. So that's like the the motorcycle shop is the transition there. And that's what we want to go out and visit with the property owners and the businesses there. We want to expand that mix of options in that area because it's kind of a hybrid now. We need some other options for people to site uses and not be so distinctly industrial and so distinctly commercial. But you got to understand what their uses are. We do know, I think the applicant communicated to council that they did not want to pursue just going straight to a commercial zone. The owner wasn't in favor of that. They didn't think that was the way they wanted to have their property zone, was to go commercial. So they preferred to have this option instead.
I
Do you
feel
happen to know what an adaptive gymnastic class is?
It's for people with disabilities, I believe.
Okay. I just had never heard of that.
I believe it's a class oriented towards students with disabilities.
So just for my clarification, I guess, so if we approve this text amendment tonight and council approves it, then they would still have to apply for a special use permit after that, as far as the process goes for
Yep.
this facility. Okay,
What's on the table is to authorize them to apply for a special use permit.
right.
I feel like just as a general comment, like I support definitely alternative 1 over alternative 2. I think the staff report made some good points just about not wanting to open up just any industrial parcel for this use. I think during the permit review process, definitely considering what's on the adjacent parcels and that everything, you're not putting kids gymnastics classes right next to some really horrible industrial use.
Yeah.
So that's the main concern here. But if you go through the conditional use, then if you go through the whole process, then that mitigates that problem. So
I will say too, I mean, I don't know what other cities where I've seen this, how they handle it, but I have seen plenty of indoor sports facilities in industrial area that I'm sure are zoned industrial, large warehouse type things. And it seems like there's not really many issues with that. So depending on the situation.
and the fact
believe
that they
there's
can't
one-
find, oh, sorry.
I said, I believe there's one on the corner of 30 and 35 on the southeast corner, and with those buildings, at least there used to be when my kid
30
played.
and what?
30 and 35. You have Royal Storage in there, you have that big.
That's in the
factory.
county. He's talking about the southeast quadrant. That's in the county. So whatever the county allows, there was
Yeah.
a baseball practice facility out there at
I
one
was gonna
point,
say,
but
so
that
I've
was,
seen it, and
I think
it
it's-
didn't seem to bother anyone. I don't know if it's still there. And I
it's
didn't-
not, but
Didn't think it was city.
yeah, but it's out in the county. That's a commercial zone in the county is where that baseball facility was.
I mean, the fact that they can't also find what they need to meet their needs in a commercial zone is a really good point to put them through a special use permit and try to get them what they need. So,
And it does make sense for this facility and maybe some other sports practice facilities that they want the bigger space that might fit with industrial zoning a little bit more.
I agree with alternative 1 too. I like that. It gives you more control, but the only concern is parking there. How much parking are they going to need?
That's one thing I noticed. There wasn't a whole lot of parking there.
Right.
Is that something that would be addressed
So
by the
that's-
zoning board adjustment?
Probably be dropped.
Right. Again, we're not talking about any particular site in the city. The standard is, you're saying what the standard in the book is for
Yeah.
parking? Yeah, it's 2 per 1,000. It's not very high. We just changed retail to be the same.
About 10,
So
11.
it's a low parking rate because it's assuming it's large areas of space that are not concentrated for assembly. So you can't. That's why it's designed that way. Essentially, is that again you're going to have a class of 20 kids there with apparatus all over the place that you can't concentrate a ton of people in that space. But yeah, they'll still have to meet zoning. They'll have to meet that parking requirement. That's all part of the review.
Well, I mean, I think at this point we can open it up to the public for a comment. Is there anyone from the audience that would like to provide comment? Seeing none. Are there any other comments or questions from the commission or staff? No? Okay. I'd entertain a motion then.
I'll move approval of alternative one, that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends that the city council amend the general industrial GI zoning district allowable uses in table 29.901 parent 2 to permit sports practice facilities indoors via a special use permit.
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
Just wanted to note that that indoor was important to us. We didn't want someone to very much underutilize open space and build outdoor sports facilities.
Right.
Because there wouldn't be a tax base there. It's not reusable. So this is really to encourage you building a building, increasing the tax base, fitting the use into the building. So that was important. I forgot to note that.
Well, I thought you said that in the,
It's part of the motion. I just heard it when you said that. I just want.
no, I mean, I thought it was part of the,
Yeah, I just want to make sure that was
Presentation.
clear that indoor was important because it's not listed in the code specifically that way.
Yep.
It will be with this amendment.
Makes sense. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right. We move on to commission comments. Or any commission comments?
I have none.
Any commission comments?
why are you looking at me?
No, I wasn't looking at anybody.
Other than my standard question for Kelly,
Which is
anything on the agenda for next time?
right now, no, but that's a little bit of time to change, but unlikely. Partially because I won't be here. But that doesn't mean
Hold
someone
on,
wouldn't go on an agenda.
hold on.
This means I won't be here.
Go ahead.
All right, any staff comments?
I have none.
All right. Then I think we're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
That was an easy one.